They're the ones that you worry about the most in this side. We're talking Mane, Salah and Jota today. The line-up between them, they threaten in behind, they come to feet well, and they'll be a major handful to Atalanta tonight, let alone anyone else they face.
Very cool evening in Bergamo in the northwest of Italy, and there is a misty fog descending on the slick green playing surface as Liverpool shooting from right to left in the first half, all in red with thick white trim and a little bit of jade green. Have to go on the defensive because Robertson and Gomez get themselves in a bit of a tangle with Muriel, and Atalanta in their black and blue striped jerseys and black shorts attack the goal away to our right. Our referee tonight is Ovidiu Hatzigan from Romania, and the VAR is Juan Martinez of Spain, who was the dreadfully pedantic referee who took charge of a recent Nations League game between England and Denmark. Here is Alexander-Arnold up to Curtis Jones on the halfway line on the Liverpool right. He plays it further wide into Salah, who seems to have been stationed out on the right from the beginning, and Jota has worked his way into the centre and hasn't taken too long before getting his first shot away, bursting into the box down the left side, ghosting in past the defender and into the penalty area. Hans Hateboer didn't get anywhere near him. Jota pulled the trigger, and in the end it was a comfortable save for Sportiello.
Well, there's that man at the moment, Jota. He is on real bang-on form at the moment, probably the form player of the Premier League potentially, and he's the first one who's had a sighter at goal within 2 minutes, and his movement was outstanding. Mane drew a couple of defenders away, and the only thing that was surprising about that, he didn't find the back of the net, Sam.
Well, he ghosted past Hateboer, who was the right wing back nominally, usually plays the right midfielder really more than anything else, and he got into a shooting position on his left, but he's playing as almost like a false nine, isn't he, in that Roberto Firmino role, dropping deep, and will try and bring Salah and Mane in from the flanks.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, what they do, Salah and Mane, they're consistently threatening in behind you, so what that does, it forces the defenders to go with them, and Jota will compensate for that space, and I'm sure he'll get on the ball accordingly from there.
Mane chesting the ball down after a kick out from Alisson, the goalkeeper. 2 minutes 40 seconds played on TalkSport. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 0, but Liverpool have already had a chance. Ball cleared away from deep inside his own half by Remo Frula, up over the halfway line looking for Duvan Zapata, doesn't quite reach him and comes out via Trent Alexander-Arnold towards the far side, the Liverpool right. Curtis Jones travels down that right, then tries to cut it back into Salah, who loses possession, and then Jose Luis Palomino attempts to clear. Papu Gomez sends it wide towards the left, picked up by Mojica. Mojica goes over the halfway line for Atalanta, moving it into the centre, looking for the run of Luis Muriel, who got both goals at the weekend in the win over Crotone, and currently fourth in Serie A. Atalanta worked out towards this near side, and the tall 6'2" right wing back Hateboer, with his hair pinned back by an Alice band, tries to play it into the Liverpool penalty area. It's repelled by the Reds, and they bring it over the halfway line via first Jones and then Andrew Robertson, who tries to take on Palomino, whose back pass was actually dangerously close to Diego Jota, who went towards the ball but didn't connect, and it's cleared away by Marco Sportiello. You're listening to TalkSport, 4 minutes played, 0-0 Italy, and here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, in these early stages, Atalanta look very, very nervous at the back, I've got to say, but up front they've got half a threat, and what both teams will be looking to do is make sure that that ball spends the majority of the time in their respective attacks if they possibly can.
Atalanta, one of the most potent attacks on the continent. They were only 3 minutes away from a Champions League semi-final before a heartbreaking turn of events against PSG back in August. Here's Papu Gomez switching the play out towards the right side. Hateboer holds on to it, right angle of the Liverpool penalty area as Atalanta come forward. He fires it with some real pace into Luis Muriel. It repels out towards the near side, and Liverpool win a throw. No doubt that Atalanta are an exciting, effervescent side. They produced 18 shots at the weekend in their win over Crotone, and they have strikers in form. It's a team built to expose any weaknesses in the opposition defence, and Liverpool certainly had some of those over the course of the first few weeks of the season. Here's Salah though, sent forward by Alexander-Arnold into the penalty area. Now, was there a challenge on him from behind? Mo Salah is looking at the linesman and the referee, and I mentioned the VAR. We might just have a look at that.
Yeah, I'm sure if this was Saturday they'd have given a penalty on for sure. But that's another matter altogether.
Well, clearly David Moyes thought that it was a little bit cheap, the penalty at the weekend, but Jurgen Klopp wasn't too happy about people saying that he dived.
No, but you've got to say that was an absolutely lightning attack by Liverpool. They had a throw-in in their own corner flag, and from there, within 2 passes, they're in his box. The pace, the power that they've got, and Salah's strength as well to hold it up in that area. Well,
it was a long raking, but they're not afraid to go long every now and again, are they? And Alexander-Arnold picked the ball up just short of the halfway line, spotted the run of Mo Salah, and then invited him to chase it.
They're one of the most direct sides in the league. You know, a lot gets said about other teams that go from back to front readily. Liverpool, make no mistake, are very, very direct, but the quality of their passing when they play a ball forward is so good, and the runs, there's at least 2 players, you can see their numbers looking at going behind the defence.
Henderson launches one up, it's half cleared by Palomino. The second ball is won by a red shirt, and Liverpool progress down the right with Alexander-Arnold. He's a step in from the right touchline. It's touched back towards Curtis Jones, and then there's a bit of a flick from Zapata, and Jones just leaves a little bit on him to give away a free kick just short of the halfway line, wide on the Atalanta left. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 0. You're listening to TalkSport on this Tuesday night, cold and quite moist in the air in Bergamo in northern Italy, as the ball is sent down the right touchline for Atalanta, and Muriel, who's got 5 goals in 8 games so far this season, tries to turn away from the challenge of Joe Gomez, who's come a long way from the centre of defence out towards this left-hand side. Muriel's tried to put it back in the centre. Henderson and Robertson tie each other in a bit of a knot before Robertson comes out and manages to clear upfield towards Mane. A lovely, delicate little flick infield for Wijnaldum up to the halfway line. Now Jota's got it. Wijnaldum's got a lung-bursting run on if he wants to get on the end of that. He's not going to be able to. It's a diagonal ball which runs right the way through to the edge of the Atalanta penalty area.
Yeah, the pace of this game's quite astounding. Both teams turning the ball over and looking to go into channels and exploit space behind each other's defences, and the quality of passes forward has been very, very good, and the pace that they go at is testing each defence in turn.
7.5 minutes played on TalkSport, where on TalkSport 2 tonight you can listen to Huddersfield versus Bristol City with all the goals that go in from around the Championship, Leagues 1 and 2. And Brentford leading Swansea by 1-0. Huddersfield Town 1-0 up at the moment against Bristol City. And Cardiff leading Barnsley by 1-0, the latest scores from the Championship. Champions League, some big scores from earlier. Atletico Madrid drawing away in Moscow, and they played Lokomotiv tonight. And Borussia Mönchengladbach beating Shakhtar Donetsk by 6-0. Manchester City still 0-0. We'll get to Don McGuinness should that change. The ball is flicked forward and away by Champions League starter for the first time, Reece Williams. Up over the halfway line it goes, looking for Sadio Mane. It's cleared away by Atalanta, and now Toloi has it in the right full-back position. He tries a diagonal pass looking for Zapata, and Williams is there to head the ball down once again. Very tall and lean is Reece Williams, always aware of where the ball is, and has learnt his positioning well. This time last year, Stuart, he was on loan at Kidderminster Harriers.
Yeah, things change very quickly in football. It's obviously he's taken his opportunity, and these are great opportunities for young players. They really are, to play not just with the other players around you with their experience, but this is Champions League football, as high as it comes.
Yeah, he very quickly got sent off when he was on loan at Kidderminster last year and got a broken nose, so he knew what the non-league was about.
You learn very quickly when you go on loan, and that's the beauty of it.
Trent Alexander-Arnold takes it away from the defender, gets to the right corner of the penalty area, low cross into the near post, which is spooned away by Berat Jimsiti, and it's out on the far side of the way for a Liverpool throw-in. Diogo Jota was lurking with intent. The ball's thrown in towards that area once again, and that wasn't a great throw-in by Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. 0-0. Fantastic
ball in there by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's whipped it near enough right behind the back line, but it's just a fantastic recovery challenge just to clear the ball. Otherwise Salah was in on goal.
Papu Gomez for Atalanta as they come forward now. It's harum scarum stuff in Bergamo from one end to the other. Zapata lurking inside the penalty area, waiting for some sort of cross. It's picked up by Moita, who sends it towards the 18-yard box, looking to try and unsettle the Liverpool defence. Pasalic was in there, but it's taken away by Liverpool up towards Wijnaldum, who's midway inside his own half. He scurries forward, goes over the halfway line. Now he finds Robertson, who skies it back to Jordan Henderson, wearing that bright yellow captain's armband with pride. Scored the winner the last time that Liverpool won a game in Italy. Jordan Henderson, it was quite some time ago. Udinese, 2012.
Wow, that is a long time. It's good to see him at the weekend, actually. He's been a fantastic captain for me with the under-21s. I have a lot of time for Jordan, and it was good to catch up with him at the weekend.
Before or after the game?
Before.
12 minutes gone. TalkSport. And we brought you that game live on TalkSport as well, didn't we, over the weekend? Jurgen Klopp, I think, was quite pleased to come away with all 3 points in that game. He thought that they deserved it, but knew that they had to be incredibly patient, and West Ham defended very, very well. Great shape during the course of especially the first half. And it was actually the first shot on goal, the penalty, that got Liverpool level in the game. Here is Robertson up towards the halfway line, poked down the left towards Mane, cut out by Palomino, and now it's Pasalic who's trying to get away from Henderson. Henderson chops him from behind, and it's going to be a free kick right on the cusp of the centre circle.
I think Jordan Henderson just getting a little bit of captain's leniency there. I'm not sure it's the worst of challenges, but I seem to remember this referee was, well, quite incredible, wasn't he, at Wembley that night?
The VAR was the one who was incredible at Wembley. Hatzigan, I think he's been quite pedantic as well, but I think that's the protocol in European football. Here's Mane out towards Jones, back to Henderson, back to Jones again. Jones tries to push it down the right for Alexander-Arnold. That Denmark-England game was where the referee from Spain gave a penalty for, well, I can't really still work out what for, against Carl Walker. Here is Salah into the centre of the D, and then a spin and a shot from Mane, which goes right through the middle of the Atalanta pack and is tipped over the top by the goalkeeper.
This is why Mane and Liverpool are so good. Salah, the link up, he's played it into Mane, and he sort of half took the pace off the ball, let it run across his body, and a snapshot where you thought, well, he's got his back to goal, there's no way he can get an effort in there, but real quick play, clever play.
Hasn't scored since the game at Goodison Park when they drew 2-2. Corner's taken quickly. Alexander-Arnold tries to drift it to the far post, looking for Williams, who heads it back across the face of goal. Atalanta scurry it away into midfield, and then Papu Gomez is dragged to the floor by Wijnaldum, and a free kick is given midway inside the Atalanta half of the field. Let's go off to the game at the Etihad. There's been a goal for TalkSport's Dom McGuinness.
City 1, Olympiacos 0. Excellent work from Kevin De Bruyne, capitalising on poor defensive play from Olympiacos. They couldn't clear the lines. De Bruyne with the little chip forward, and then Torres did the rest through the legs of the keeper. Excellent finish. 4-0 competitions for City. It's Manchester City 1, Olympiacos 0.
And Manchester City have got a reasonably big game at the weekend. Scratching my head as to remember who they were playing, but I think it was quite a significant one. We'll keep you updated on the Sunday session.
That'll be a marker to see how well the two so-called contenders for the Premier League are getting on this year.
Manchester City against Liverpool is the big 4:30 on Sunday afternoon, and I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp will be thinking about that. Here is Muriel inside the penalty area, trying to twist and get a shot away. He does, but it's a tame one. It's saved by Alisson and pushed away towards the far side. Didn't get a clean save on it, but that was another quick ball up towards the edge of the penalty area, and with a blink of an eye, they were on the edge of the centre circle, then inside the box, Atalanta.
Yeah, both teams have demonstrated in this first quarter of an hour or so that they can certainly hurt each other. There's no doubt about that.
A couple of jabs here and there so far, but no knockout blow as of yet. We've played 15 minutes. Manchester City leading at the Etihad, still 0-0 between Atalanta and Liverpool. But here's Curtis Jones getting the wrong side of the defender, holding the ball up, left-footed, drives the ball goalwards. It's spilt by the goalkeeper, Sportiello, but he gets there at the second attempt with no one closing him down inside the 6-yard area. And another good opportunity for Liverpool And Jones getting the wrong side of the defender, Moyika, into the penalty area, shifting it onto his left foot in a central position, and maybe he should have done better.
Well, I think at both ends, goalkeepers have made saves with their feet, and they've almost dived past the ball, and it's been an afterthought to get their legs in the way.
Atalanta have just given the ball back to Liverpool again. Here come the Premier League champions charging forward. Down the left is Andrew Robertson. He's got Jota waiting in the centre. Henderson goes back towards the halfway line, and Liverpool look to rebuild from a different angle. On the right side is Alexander-Arnold. Lovely ball into Jota inside the penalty area, shrugging off the defender, shipping it past the goalkeeper and scoring once again. And Diogo Jota cannot stop putting the ball in the net. It's another brilliant pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it's an exquisite finish for the man of the moment, Diogo Jota. New signing from Wolverhampton Wanderers, who has got 6 goals in 5 games for club and country now. And this one is another delightful finish under real pressure.
Well, I've got to say his movement was outstanding there. He's run across the line and darted into the inside right position. And when the goalkeeper advanced, there was no panic. It was almost a penalty. He's been tugged at, but he stayed on his feet. And the deftest, the little touches over the goalkeeper and in the net, classical finish. And he's becoming, well, I wouldn't say the find of the season, certainly the signing of the season at these early stages.
Atalanta 0, Liverpool 1, live on TalkSport. And Diogo Jota, who saved Liverpool against Sheffield United and against West Ham United, got key goals in the games with Arsenal and Midtjylland, is on the score sheet again. Well, it was a brilliant finish, the way he dinked it over the top of the advancing Sporty Yellow, and he was under real pressure, as you already mentioned. You know, it could have been a penalty. If he hadn't have scored, it would have been, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so. He had a tug at him, and credit to Jota, he stayed on his feet and dispatched the ball into the back of the net pretty well. He's some player.
And he certainly stepped into that role, the number 9, the false 9 position, very well for Liverpool tonight, and has done whenever called upon by Jurgen Klopp. He's been using a variety of positions actually since his arrival from Wolves, and I suppose because he's played in a variety of positions for Nuno Espirito Santo, he's got that versatility, and with the goal output that he brings, he's a massive asset.
Yeah, I mean, he's an intelligent footballer, and playing with the level of players that he is at Liverpool's only going to take him on to that next level. Listen, if you look to one side and you've got Mane and Salah to the other that are drawing defenders and pulling them all over the place, you get every chance.
Well, Liverpool's form may well have been eyeballed, but they've started well here. But here's Luis Muriel for Atalanta, and his shot goes straight to Alisson, who doesn't get down quick enough to it, and again mishandles. The ball flicks up into the air, and he has to grab it behind himself at the second attempt.
Yeah, certainly have. When Atalanta have got the ball into advanced areas, they've caused Liverpool the odd problem. They've had 2 or 3 efforts at goal. Maybe should have got the strike away slightly cleaner. But Alisson, well, twice now, he's almost dived past the ball, if you like, hasn't he? That time got his hands on it and misfielded it.
Bit of moisture in the air, maybe that's
potentially.
Sort of just causing the ball to do things that it's not supposed to do. Every time the ball is played along the floor, we can see a kick up of water droplets. It's quite foggy and misty in northern Italy. Just wonder whether or not the conditions are affecting the run of the ball, and with both goalkeepers certainly guilty of making misjudgments in the opening 20 minutes. But it's Atalanta 0, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport.
I just wonder, Sam, whether Liverpool will adopt the same tactic as they did in Ajax when, after 60 minutes I think it was, they took the front 3 off, you know, to almost rest them for the weekend. And I wonder whether this front 3 is the front 3 that he wants to play at the weekend, and he'll do the same again.
Pasalic trying to charge forward, stopped by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Of course, I mentioned they play Manchester City at the weekend, and Manchester City are 1-0 up against Olympiacos. The ball is slammed forward by Robertson, a big raking long ball up towards Salah, headed away by Jim City, and then eventually further cleared by Atalanta into midfield. But it's won by Williams, and then down and through towards Wijnaldum, who's wrestling with Papu Gomez, and it was probably a bit too much wrestling, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the game, and it goes to Gini Wijnaldum.
Yeah, I don't think he could have. He's tried to bring the ball back towards his own goal, and in the end he's ended up behind the Atalanta midfielder and got him in a stranglehold and couldn't let go.
Well, I saw that move at Manchester United Chelsea the other week, but they said that was all right.
Some weeks you get away with it, some you don't.
Yes, that's certainly been a debate over the last 48 hours, isn't it? Curtis Jones has got a yellow card as well. I didn't quite see what that was for.
Yeah, it was for slightly earlier. It was a previous challenge, and to be fair to Curtis Jones, he got up and apologised to his man as he was on a recovery run.
So 2 yellow cards for Liverpool, but they lead by 1-0 in northern Italy. And Jordan Henderson's just stepped in front of Pasalic as he went to play the ball forward. It's broken towards the right now, and Hatterborn with his hair pinned back by an Alice Ban plays it infield towards Remo Frula, but his reverse ball round the corner doesn't quite work out, and the ball is cleared away by Alisson, who we're just seeing a replay of spilling the ball from Luis Muriel. He put 2 hands towards the ball, didn't he? Tried to get behind it, and it sort of spun off his gloves.
Yeah, it was quite a strange one for a goalkeeper of his ability to let something fumble through, and he was fortunate enough to react quickly before the spin took it away from him and in the net.
22 minutes gone. Here is Curtis Jones on a yellow card now. Plays it square, finds Robertson. I think he's been particularly good this season, Curtis Jones, whenever I've seen him, and I've seen him a couple of times in the Carabao Cup. Played obviously from the start of the weekend. Doesn't look out of place in that Liverpool midfield despite his tender years. He's only 19. He's in England under 21 himself now.
Yeah, great experience for young men, it really is. As I say, covered the Ajax game 2 rounds ago, and he was very good in that game.
Here he is, dictating the play from midfield and using his arms to gesticulate where he wants Andrew Robertson to go. Goes back to his captain Henderson. They're camped inside the Atalanta half here, Liverpool, and leading by 1-0. It's played short and square to Henderson, and then back down the left side by Robertson. Jones is in an offside position, and he raises his right arm in acknowledgement, and the free kick is given to the Italian side. You're listening to Talk Sport. And I mentioned that Liverpool's form had been eyeballed. 3 of their latest wins have come by virtue of a 1-goal margin. It was certainly a hallmark of last season that they would come up with late fight backs in games. There's a few near misses there, though. This campaign hasn't felt as secure, but it's a triumph for not only their tendency not to panic, but their character as well. It's certainly something that Jurgen Klopp spoke about in the aftermath of the game against West Ham, saying, we wouldn't be here where we are today if we didn't have that drive, determination and utter desire to go on and win matches even when others thought they'd gone. Here's Jota, who embodies that, gets in behind the right wing back and sends a cross towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's spooned away by Toloi and goes out on this near side.
Yeah, I think with Liverpool as well, as we've seen over the Premier League years, it's very, very difficult to retain the Premier League. To win it once, takes some doing. To retain it, not many teams have done that. So I think all eyes are on Liverpool to see where is the drive, how is the drive this season. Salah
trying a bit of trickery inside the area, gets it back to Henderson, who gives it to Robertson, who I think was aiming at the goal. But there was a seat with a big red cross on it saying "do not sit here," which he hit full on the face. It was about 30 yards to the goalkeeper's left.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was trying to cut across the ball and hit it square on, and he just pulled it really, didn't he?
Yeah, it was miles wide from Andrew Robertson, who does have a goal to his name this season, and he has been a rich source of goals with a constant stream of assists. Brilliant player, not only for Liverpool but for Scotland as well. We're all aware of the Liverpool flaws that they've got, which usually have been exposed at the back. Even before the injury to Virgil van Dijk, they were leaking more goals than was reasonable. Yes, everyone is conceding more goals than before, but no one has conceded more goals than Liverpool in the Premier League since they won the title. That is an unbelievable stat. No other team has conceded as many as Liverpool in that time frame.
Well, I think they ended up topping the league, didn't they? Conceding the most goals in the league, which was amazing. It's literally an amazing stat. And you're talking to a man that loves a stat.
You do, and that is your favourite stat, isn't it? Looking at the tables, see who's conceding goals, who's scoring goals.
Exactly that.
And the good news for Liverpool is they're also scoring them at the moment. And they've just played a ball through towards Jota once again. He's been crunched by Toloi, but Toloi got the ball. Jota just flicks his eyes towards the referee, asking the question. It isn't answered, and the ball is sent forward by Alexander-Arnold, looking to the back edge of the area, looking for Mane. An offside flag is up against him, and it's a free kick to Atalanta. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 1. You're listening to TalkSport.
Yeah, Mane just got caught offside there. He's looking across the line. He should have probably done slightly better than that. But certainly on the run of play at this moment in time, you wouldn't rule out goals for either side.
Worth noting that Liverpool have kept clean sheets in both their Champions League games so far, despite their frailties in the Premier League. Here is Hatterborn. Infield, he's high up inside Liverpool territory in the right wing position. He sends it back into Alejandro Gomez, and then on to Muriel, who's big and physical, turning into the more tricky and diminutive Gomez, who goes down under pressure from Jordan Henderson, then squeezes across from the byline in toward the angle of the penalty area, and it's cleared away. I think it might have taken a little flick off of an Atalanta shirt first. I just wonder whether or not he used his hand to control that, Gomez, and may well have been ruled out if anything had come from it.
Yeah, Gomez managed to get to the last 10 yards, getting to the byline on all fours. It was quite incredible. He lost his balance and his hands kept the momentum going.
He was scrambling across the floor, wasn't he, like he was going up the side of one of the mountains in the Peak District, trying to get to the very top. And there's a bit of a conversation between the fourth official and Jurgen Klopp. I think Jurgen Klopp may well have been told off here. Is he quite vocal on the sidelines?
Yeah, pretty much. We have a referees meeting an hour before at the weekend, and he actually said to me, I miss you on TalkSport. Believe it or not.
Did he?
I said, don't worry, I'll be back there soon.
Should have said to him, take your app with you. On Tuesday night you'll be able to listen to the game.
Good to know he's a listener of the show, eh?
And if you want to join in with Jurgen Klopp and lend us your ears, then you can download our app via the iOS or Google Play stores, and you can flick through the two stations, TalkSport and TalkSport 2, but also go through some of our podcasts. We've got some great podcasts and great documentaries that are available. I think we still have on our app the Evolution of Jordan Henderson, which is a brilliant documentary presented by Laura Woods. Well worth a listen. I'm sure Jurgen's had a listen of that. I don't think Gianpiero Gasparini is necessarily a TalkSport listener yet. We may convert him in time. Certainly he's converted quite a lot of people to his team. Very good to watch. And here is Zapata in behind the Liverpool defence, twisting past the defender. Trent Alexander-Arnold shooting towards the far corner, clattering the crossbar as you heard, but the offside flag was up well before that. Such is the trend in Europe to wait until the act has already been completed, and there was a couple of hesitations, I think, from Liverpool players because they believed that he was going to be flagged offside, but it might have been tighter than they thought.
Yeah, as I say, there wasn't daylight between the offside, that is for sure, but the linesman got it absolutely spot on. I'm surprised at this law of the game. I can understand why they do it, this play-on scenario, but the trouble is, and the worry for a lot of people involved in the game, is an injury with play going on.
Here is Zapata again, going down the left-hand side, beating Williams to the ball this time, into the 18-yard box, turning and flashing the ball through the 18-yard box with no real accuracy, and it just bursts through the box and out the other side, and it's away for a Liverpool throw. It's Atalanta 0, Liverpool 1. Elsewhere, Manchester City lead Olympiacos by a goal to 0. Porto 2, Marseille 0 is a key scoreline from Group C, which Manchester City are involved in. And in this group, it's FC Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. Of course, this group was thrown into a little bit of chaos, wasn't it? Because there was a report that 11 personnel from Ajax had been tested positive for COVID-19. One of those who was involved was Dusan Tadic in that sort of rumour mill, but he did start tonight and he's already scored, so he seems to be showing no ill effects. They lead by 2-1 away in Denmark. Here Away in Italy, Liverpool lead by a goal to nil. Mo Salah trying to flick the ball round the corner, but Frula intercepted and won it back for Atalanta. The ball goes back out towards the far side. It's collected by Trent Alexander-Arnold, touches it to Mane. Mane comes deep and then shepherds the ball out wide towards the right. Goes back from Jones into Alexander-Arnold, and Liverpool camped inside the Atalanta half once again. Jota back to the touchline and Jones, and then onto Alexander-Arnold, who flicks it forward looking for the run of Mane. Stepping in was Toloi and hoists it clear, and it goes up towards the halfway line, and Williams just touches it into Henderson. 1-0.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what sort of goal tally the front 3 or 4, let's say now, with Firmino will end up with this year for Liverpool. You know, Jota has certainly given them a new dimension, there's no doubt about that, and a proven goal scorer.
Big debate on Drive yesterday with Adrian and Darren Goff about Roberto Firmino. Is he a midfielder? Is he a forward? What is he? It is the fact that he's got the number 9 plastered to his back, maybe a little bit of a misnomer really, and that actually he's more of a midfielder, attacking midfielder, and gets so many other qualities. We shouldn't expect him to get so many goals, but he has only got 1 in 10 so far this season.
Well, he's a wonderful foil for Mane and Salah that are desperate to run in behind your defence, you know, and probably all 3 of them can't run in behind. Someone's got to show to feet to tie things up, and he offers that option.
Wijnaldum has just been chopped to the floor, and the referee has just given a free kick. It was Luis Muriel who's coming from the blind side and just nudged him to ground. And Wijnaldum was asking that maybe he should get a yellow card for that. The referee's declined to do that dirty work, and the free kick is played out towards the wide right position by Henderson. Then good feet by Wijnaldum onto Jones down the right hand side, gets into the penalty area, and Frula is quickly across to put it out for a corner.
Yeah, Liverpool building a touch of momentum at the moment, but the game is still swinging from sort of end to end really, and both teams are asking questions of each other's defences.
Oh, Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead against Bournemouth. They have a goal advantage. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Bournemouth 0, and Sheffield Wednesday in a dreadful run of form. Bournemouth, I think, unbeaten still. Here's the ball in towards the near post, headed away by Pasalic, heads it clear. Cardiff 2-0 up against Barnsley. And latest scoreline just before half-time from the EFL Championship. You can go round the grounds with Ian Danta, who's also commentating on the game between Huddersfield and Bristol City. Here's Jota inside the penalty area, brings it down onto his right foot, slams it in. It's another goal for Diogo Jota, another goal for Liverpool. A brilliant start to his terrific Liverpool career. He is off like a rocket. Joe Gomez with the ball over the top this time from some distance, tucked down by Diogo Jota with his left foot inside the fullback Hateboer, and rifled it in with his right to make it Atalanta 0, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, wonderful forward play there, great movement by Jota. He's dipped inside Hateboer, then he's gone outside him and dragged the ball with him inside, and then finished brilliantly. Average defending, but outstanding forward play.
Well, it was an excellent finish from Diogo Jota, and he's been selected tonight in that false 9 position ahead of Roberto Firmino, and he has delivered the goals, but maybe Firmino hasn't in recent weeks and months. And certainly he has found his feet in Liverpool red very quickly indeed. Sometimes it takes a bit of time, doesn't it, when you come into a big club like Liverpool to fit in. Certainly at other clubs in the country we've seen that, but not Diogo Jota. He has delivered from a very early stage, and that was a terrific finish. Like you said, the defending's got to be questioned, because it was a bit basic, wasn't it? Ball over the top, easy for him to bring down, and against a 6'2" defender, he really should have been hassled a little bit more.
Yeah, he should have done a lot better than he actually did, but the one thing you've got to say about Jota, he got his run spot on, dropped back, kept himself onside, and from there his technique was never going to let him down.
Jones combining with Salah, Liverpool in the groove now and coming forward with ease, up to Mane, a little flick towards Salah again, and it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper Sportiello after This time Salah not quite on the same wavelength as Sadio Mane, and with 10 minutes before half-time, Liverpool already have a commanding lead. Let's go off to the game at the Etihad Stadium. Don McGuinness is watching Manchester City in the Champions League.
And it's City 1, Olympiacos 0, 34 minutes on the clock. It's all one-way traffic. The only goal of the game, Torres, great little give and go with Kevin De Bruyne, and an excellent finish, 3-3 in the Champions League. Sterling's just had one in the net, but he's offside. But it's all Manchester City. Just City 1, Olympiacos 0.
Back here in Bergamo, a great chance for Liverpool to make it 3. A poor tackle, Mane darting in, sniffing danger, runs towards the edge of the area, cuts inside the D on his right foot, curls the ball towards the far post, and it's fingertip wide by the goalkeeper.
Well, Atalanta's defence now getting very, very stretched as they go in search of a goal, and on that occasion Mane, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, killed his shot into the far corner, and a fantastic stop, fingertips. Really good stop. Ball from the corner, sent in towards Williams. It's headed down, but I think he was using his hands to hitch a ride, and a free kick is given. Well, this is a team that has been constructed by Gianpiero Gasperini to cause chaos. They have width down the left and right flanks from their wing-backs, who are not really wing-backs, they're wide midfielders, and even in the absence of Goossens, the system still gives them a presence. They've got 2 strikers that score goals regularly, but they are all over the place at the back tonight. They have got a couple of thumpings. They got a smacking off Sampdoria earlier in the season, and they do give up chances. Napoli took those chances earlier in the campaign and scored a few against them as well. They're not your typical Italians, that's for sure. They're certainly not. They're high energy, they get up, they get in your face. They've had the odd skirmish around Liverpool's goal and been unfortunate maybe not to get better efforts away. The one thing you can say now, Liverpool are in a wonderful position, and probably we might see the front three, if it stays like this in the second half, being bought off to rested for the weekend again. Robertson with a corner for Liverpool, attacking the goal away to our left. Oh, it's misfielded, and it goes all the way towards the edge of the 18-yard box, where Papa Gomez manages to clear for Atalanta. Retreating was Gomez, who sends it back to his goalkeeper Alisson, and Liverpool build from the back again. We shouldn't get too carried away just yet though, Stuart. Ajax led 2-0 last week against Atalanta, and it finished 2-2. Yeah, well, certainly Atalanta have certainly shown that they can get men forward, they can deliver decent passes to their strikers, and they've had the odd opportunity to put some pressure on, but they haven't found the correct finish at the moment. Wijnaldum running down a bit of a cul-de-sac, manages to guide the ball back to Alisson in a bright yellow goalkeeping kit, takes a little step to his right and then hoists the ball forward down the left-hand side, and it's collected by Henderson, who hoofs it into the air. It's an up and under, which was won by Salah. A square ball to Robertson, who's joining the attack. He's midway inside opposition territory, a flick by Jota. Behind him is Salah, away by Palomino. Into midfield the ball goes, and Henderson has it once again. Now Liverpool just slow the pace of the game down, almost a bit of cat and mouse going on here, toying with the opposition into Salah. Salah now tries to turn, reverses the ball into Mane, blocked by the defender retreating, who was Toloi, and it's cleared away to the halfway line. Yeah, one of the traits that isn't associated with Salah is his strength. You know, you can put the ball into him and he holds off challenges, he leans in, and he's got a real strong low centre of gravity and can retain the ball even when he's under physical pressure. Yeah, good core strength, hasn't he? Very good at holding off defenders. It's interesting, isn't it, just how much of the ball that Liverpool are having and how comfortable they look at the moment. You just wonder, you know, everyone gets affected by the fact that there are no supporters in the ground, but on these big Champions League nights, I think in particular, they can change the nature of a match, can't they? Because imagine, you know, they haven't got great support. They're not a storied team of old, Atalanta. They're not like a Liverpool or a Manchester United in Italian football by any stretch, but they've got passionate local support who can make a difference in a tight arena on big nights like this, and of course they've been robbed of that opportunity. Yeah, they certainly have, and we've seen it across world football, really. I know when we were covering the Bundesliga in the summer, the away teams were winning a disproportionate amount of games. This year we're seeing Manchester United probably losing more at home than we would fully expect, and even the team that we follow with Portsmouth are similar, aren't they? Better on the road than they are at home, and Portsmouth last year, well, they didn't lose a game, I don't think, at home in the league.
No, they're winning tonight, away from home as well, against Lincoln City by 3-1 currently, Kenny Jackett's team. 2 goals from John Marcus.
Yeah, he certainly started the season very well this year in regard to scoring goals.
Ronan Curtis on the score sheet as well for Portsmouth. That score update just for me and Stuart's own pleasure. Here is Curtis Jones up towards the halfway line. And then on to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've also bought some bakery items for your pleasure tonight.
You certainly have done very well. In fact, we've swapped sort of cakes, really, haven't we?
We have. We've had a bit of a bake-off moment tonight. We've missed each other so much. Here's Jones down the right. I bought brownies. You bought muffins. Oh, it's nice to be back together,
isn't it? Just
it's Salah around the corner, trying to get to the byline. He shoves away Berat Jimsiti, but the ball runs out of play and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 5 minutes to go before the end, and remember tonight the sports bar is open for business. 10 o'clock. Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy are taking your calls on all the night's football. You can give them a call on 08717 2233 44. TalkSport breakfast tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Laura Woods, Ali McCoist and Carlton Cole together in the studio. In fact, they're not in the studio, they're down at the Fair Share depot in Deptford tomorrow. And tomorrow TalkSport are supporting the England and Manchester United forwards Marcus Rashford's End Child Food Poverty campaign. You can check out the website at fairshare.org. It's where you can volunteer, you can offer to donate as well, and throughout the day we'll all be up and down the country acting as volunteers, maybe being admin assistants, drivers assistants, warehouse assistants, community fundraisers, all of the jobs that you can volunteer for as well. You'll be going to a COVID-safe place and meet like-minded people who want to ensure that we end child food poverty, and that is throughout the day tomorrow. I'll be in Manchester tomorrow evening when I get back from this game, and I know that Trevor Sinclair is getting involved tomorrow throughout the course of the day in the northwest. Don McGuinness is part of that as well, and we've got our reporters up and down the country taking part to help highlight the great work that Marcus Rashford has done in the local community in Manchester. But it's far reaching, it goes all over the country, and as I mentioned, Laura and Carlton Cole and Ali McCoist will be coming to you from Deptford tomorrow. Here is Mane down the left for Liverpool, who lead by 2-0 away in the Champions League. A deep cross which is towards the far post. It's over the head of the Egyptian Mo Salah, and it drifts behind and away for a goal kick away to our left.
Yeah, I think Liverpool will be absolutely delighted with their evening's work at the moment. This puts them in such a strong position in the group at the moment. 9 points as they stand from their 3 matches, and with obviously a home game coming up next time out.
Duman Zapata has hardly had a kick tonight, has he, really, down that left-hand side. He had one effort which was spilt by Alisson, who spilt a couple in the first 10 minutes or so of the game, but really and truly Liverpool being in control of the match and scoring their second goal. 2 goals from Jota.
They almost look as though they've lost a little bit of their confidence, Atalanta, in what they're trying to achieve. You know, I thought they were a bit of a threat early on, and they've just, I don't know, just lost a little bit of endeavour, and 1 or 2 players not showing the same energy.
Here is Salah down the right-hand side. And it's just a little bit overcooked and goes out of play. And it's away for a goal kick behind the goal away to our left-hand side.
I'll tell you what I like about Salah. If someone hits him a great ball or a bad ball, he'll chase both with the same enthusiasm. I never see him looking at a teammate, berating him for a bad ball. He just chases it and tries to make a bad ball a good, and he's a fantastic example for how a striker should sort of conduct himself up front, I think.
Here is Toloy going forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Long ball up towards Zapata, headed away by Williams. When you say he conducts himself the way a forward should conduct himself, does that also include when you get kicked on the bottom of the foot, going down maybe a little bit too softly?
I don't want to be drawn on that statement at this stage. You know, it's still quite raw. Ask me in a couple of weeks. But listen, what he does, he asks
but they
questions.
all do it, don't they? They all do it. It's
course.
not just Salah.
No.
I mean, Kane's ridiculous penalty on Sunday night was arguably even worse. He committed a foul, managed to get a penalty for it.
Yeah, I think in the Premier League at the moment, fouls and penalties are given very, very readily, and It worries me. I think the players put referees and officials under so much pressure now. It's incredible.
Do you think there are too many penalties given? Because there seem to be a lot. I mean, I read a statistic. Newcastle had 3 penalties in their last 5 games at St James's Park. They hadn't had 3 penalties in their previous 76.
What I've seen, Sam, I've seen a lot of defenders scared to make challenges in their own box for fear of giving penalties away, and I include my team in that. You've got to be foot perfect now if you go anywhere near anybody in the box, and sadly, strikers play for it.
Well, that long ball forward by Gomez has just gone out of play. It means that the half-time whistle goes with very little injury time added at the end of a first half, which Liverpool really have took control of. 2 goals from Diogo Jota. Atalanta have only lost 5 of their previous 25 European matches. They don't surrender easily, but Liverpool are in a very good position to take maximum points from their first 3 Champions League games of the season. At half-time, it's Atalanta 0, Liverpool 2.
Sam, thank you. Excellent start from Liverpool. Let's catch up with events at the Etihad, though. Don McGuinness.
Well, it's Manchester City 1, Olympiacos 0. We've played, close to the 45 minutes, and whatever the referee from Spain, Mr. Carlos Del Cerro Grande, is going to add on here, but it has been just all one-way traffic from Manchester City. It's been bullying, really. The only surprise is that it's only the 1 goal to 0. That, an excellent goal as well on 12 minutes. Kevin De Bruyne with a little give and go with Ferran Torres. There's only going to be a minute of additional time here at the Etihad. There haven't been any real stoppages in play. And it says, as I say, possession-wise, Manchester City have rarely let Olympiacos out of their half. They have now just knocked a long ball forward, which Zinchenko just nods out for an Olympiacos throw. But as it is, Mahrez, Torres, De Bruyne all going close before Torres did find the net, as I say, on 12 minutes. Since then, Sterling has put one in the back of the net. That was ruled out quite rightly for offside as well. Just one half chance, if you could even call it that, from Olympiacos when a long ball played forward for El Arabi. He was offside anyway. Ake just did catch him. I think the striker thought he could claim a penalty for that. It was offside. The referee's assistant's flag was up, and again the referee just puts the whistle in his mouth, and City still have possession as Walker, who's played 16 hours I think on the trot consecutively, retains his place in the side, scored the winning goal at Sheffield United, been busy in this one again tonight. He just leaves the free kick for Edison to come forward, and there it is, the half-time whistle. It has been sublime really from Manchester City. 5 changes Pep Guardiola made ahead of this one, obviously with one eye on Liverpool. Again, the only surprise in this is that Manchester City haven't managed to add more goals to the tally. Ferran Torres in sublime form as well, 3-3 in the Champions League, 4 in all competitions for Manchester City. He's been lively, could have had a hat-trick really. At half-time though here in Group C, Manchester City looking for that 3rd win in a row in the group stages. It's Manchester City 1, Olympiacos 0.
So let's just run you through the scores in the Champions League this evening. As you just heard, Manchester City 1, Olympiacos 0. Also in Group C, it is Porto 2, Marseille 0. Into Group D, as you've been hearing, Atalanta 0, Liverpool 2, thanks to a double from Diogo Jota. Elsewhere, Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2, also in Group D. Into Group A, earlier it finished Lokomotiv Moscow 1, Atletico Madrid 1. At half-time, it is Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 2. And into Group B, Real Madrid trying to give their Champions League campaign some hope. It is Real Madrid 2, Inter Milan 1 at half-time. And earlier on in Group B, Shakhtar Donetsk were beaten 6-0 at home by Borussia Mönchengladbach. Also, championship action for you, 6 games in all, 4 of them 7 p.m. kickoffs. Currently, Norwich 0, Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Bournemouth 0. What a result that would be. Elsewhere, Brentford 1, Swansea 1, and our live commentary on TalkSport 2, Huddersfield 1, Bristol City 2. And the 7:45 kickoffs at the moment, currently at half-time, Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0, and Cardiff 2, Barnsley 0. And we'll give you the scores in League 1 and League 2 very shortly as well, just after the break. Few full times coming there as well. Before we go back and speak to Stuart Pearce, Jason Cundy is alongside me. Hello, good evening. Sports Bar coming up from 10 p.m. You'll be beside Andy Goldstein. So far watching the action tonight, you know, I think there's going to be a search for Roberto Firmino during Sports Bar.
Yes, Jota has been brilliant. Liverpool have been outstanding. You have to say the way they've attacked this game. Atalanta, a difficult side to go and play, but there's been no problems. There's been one or two moments, but other than that, I have to say they have been outstanding.
The hunger that he showed, the hunger that he's shown since he got to Liverpool. I mean, a few people raised an eyebrow over £41 million. So far, looking like it could be a bargain.
Well, yes. I mean, Firmino now, there's been a lot of debate about where his best position is. What does he do? I mean, Jota is now coming in. Not only is he adding something different to what Liverpool's potent attack got, he's adding goals as well, creativity. So this is going to be it's going to be a great night for Luke's English sides. I can't see Manchester City dropping points. It's only 1-0. They should really be 2 or 3 up by now.
Playing quite slowly. That's the only disappointment watching City. They should be moving the ball faster, and it seems like they feel like they've got it won, if you know what I mean. Yes,
but at 1-0, as we know it's always that dangerous score. As you're comfortable, they will get the second goal and go on and win this comfortably. But the Liverpool game, I have to say, Atalanta have been, I don't know, they've been a little bit disappointing, to be honest, but Liverpool all over the pitch have been outstanding.
What else you got tonight? Back
pages, of course, what you guys will be waking up to tomorrow morning with your cornflakes. We might even have a little bit of the massive election that's taking place, of course, across the Atlantic.
Red versus blue.
Yes, indeed.
Pick a colour.
I'm not bothered, mate. I'm not picking any colours. But
I thought you might pick blue just for the sake of it being a blue yourself.
Not at all.
Fair enough,
and we've
Jason.
got all the other stuff that myself and Andy come up with straight after the final whistle, 10 o'clock.
That's Jason Cundy. He'll be alongside Andy Goldstein from 10 p.m. The number to call, as always, 08717 223344. And of course, all the reaction you'll hear from Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola during Sports Bar as well. At half-time in the Champions League, it's been a good one so far for the English sides. Manchester City leading Olympiacos by 1-0, and our live commentary here on TalkSport this evening at half-time, Atalanta 0. And thanks to Diogo Jota at the double, Liverpool 2.
Win tonight in this empty shell in Bergamo against last year's quarter-finalists, and Liverpool will have 1 foot and 3 toes in the knockout stages. Lovely ball into Jota, inside the penalty area, striking off the defender, shipping it past the goalkeeper and scoring once again. And Diogo Jota cannot stop putting the ball in the net. Here is the patter in behind the Liverpool defence, twisting past the defender, Trent Alexander-Arnold shooting towards the far corner, transferring the crossbar as you heard, but the offside flag was up well before that. Jota inside the penalty area, brings it down onto his right foot, slams it in. It's another goal for Diogo Jota, another goal for Liverpool. A brilliant start to his terrific Liverpool career. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 2.
To hit the sporting nail squarely on the head and win great prizes when we play Nailing the Week in Sport on TalkSport with Wix Trade Pro. Listen to Jim White every Friday morning from 10. Prove you've got the trivia tools to answer the tricky sporting teasers, and you could win at least £500 in Wix gift vouchers every week. Oh yes, you've nailed it. Play Nailing the Week in Sport every Friday morning from 10 on TalkSport with Wix Trade Pro. It's always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro.
On Sky Sports, the big games keep coming. Don't miss a moment with our 2-for-1 football offer. This week, it's Man City Liverpool.
Mane! Liverpool firmly in control.
In one of the biggest games in the Premier League calendar.
Manchester City are being merciless here.
Get Sky Sports Premier League and Sky Sports Football together for just £18 extra a month. Search Get Sky Sports and upgrade today. Sky TV required. Offer ends 12th of November. Further terms apply.
This isn't just music, it's a feeling. The feeling of being out on the road with the sun on your face and the wind in your hair. Get that feeling. Join the AA today. Our mechanics fix 8 out of 10 cars at the roadside and can get you going again in around 30 minutes of arrival. Plus, with unlimited call-outs, we'll always get you back on the road. Switch to the UK's #1 breakdown service from just £6 a month. Visit theaa.com and join today. New customers only, T's and C's apply.
At Kia, our electric crossover range is available today and comes with the first 3 services free, with 4.9% representative APR finance until the end of December. There's the all-new Soul EV or the Kia Niro with a range of up to 282 miles on a single charge. And that's not all. Our range of hybrids come with 0% APR until the end of December too. So, stop wondering and start driving. Search Kia to find out more. 0% APR available over 24 months with minimum 20% deposit. Kia Finance. Range based on test conditions and may vary.
Top companies have top reputations with good reason. Maintaining their excellence is the key to maintaining their success. Every client matters, every call, every detail. That's why many choose to use Moneypenny. Our hand-picked receptionists support yours, answering and transferring calls remotely, professionally, brilliantly, and economically. How good does that sound? Rethink the way your office works with Moneypenny.
So another made it look easy display wrapped up quite quickly. Talk us through your tactics.
Oh yeah, same setup as last Saturday, Gary. No need to change a system that works so well. Terrific.
So a totally different story to the other shower then.
Yeah, or mentioning no names, but we don't switch off at crucial times, blow hot and cold or leak anything at the back. Result, sweet, boom.
Fit and forget a Triton Electric digital or mixer shower and experience the perfect match rather than having a right game. See you first thing, Triton Fitters.
The football season is back and it's all to play for. TalkSport has teamed up with Barclays to bring fans closer to the game. Go to talksport.com/competitions for the chance to win 4 Now TV Sky Sports Day passes to share with your mates so you can all enjoy the Premier League action together virtually thanks to Barclays. Plus, you'll be entered into a prize draw which could see the Premier League trophy coming to your house for a day. It's all to play for on TalkSport with Barclays, creating opportunities with football at every level of the game. Terms and conditions apply. Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM.
Great cross! Great goal!
UEFA Champions League football.
He's hit the crossbar and he's stabbed in!
Live on TalkSport.
So Liverpool and Manchester City ahead in the Champions League. Let's bring you up to date with events in League 1 and League 2. Earlier on it finished Shrewsbury 1, Burton 1, Blackpool 1, Wigan 0, finished Bristol Rovers 0, Peterborough 2. They stay top for now, Peterborough at least. Charlton 3, Fleetwood 2, Crewe 0, Gillingham 1, Lincoln 1, Portsmouth 3, elsewhere Oxford United 3, Rochdale 1, Plymouth 4, 10-man Swindon 2, and still ongoing Sunderland 1, Ipswich 1, AFC Wimbledon, I can't read the score, AFC Wimbledon 1, Doncaster 1, and Northampton 0, MK Dons 0. And into League 2, finished earlier on, Oldham 2, Cheltenham 1, Morecambe 2, Exeter 2, Bolton 1, Mansfield 1, still playing Bradford City 3, Southend 0, finished Cambridge United 2, Salford 1, Colchester 3, Stevenage 1, Grimsby 1, Barrow 0, and Walsall 1, Crawley 0. Elsewhere, still playing Harrogate 0, Tranmere 1, Carlisle 3, Newport 2, and as I said, Bradford City 3, Southend United 0. And as I was talking, Forest Green 2, Leyton Orient 1 is just finished there as well. So you're up to date with all the scores. And if you're just tuning in, good start from both the Premier League sides in the Champions League this evening. Both Manchester City and Liverpool looking to make it 3 wins from 3 at the start of their campaign. At half-time at the Etihad, Manchester City lead Olympiacos by 1-0. And in Bergamo, it is Atalanta 0, Liverpool 2 at half-time. Both goals coming from summer signing Diogo Jota, who's pretty much on fire at the moment. Roberto Firmino was benched by Jurgen Klopp, and that decision has paid dividends so far. Let's go back and speak to Stuart Pearce, current West Ham first-team coach, former England defender, of course. Is eager to prove themselves, coming into a massive club like Liverpool. Diogo Jota has approached his new club in exactly the right way, and he is getting rewards for it as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. They turn around and say, Hugh, that you're better off strengthening when you're in a position of strength, and that's certainly the case at Liverpool. Jota, we spoke about him before the game, about the form he's on at the moment. He's offering Liverpool another dimension up there, and listen, he's been outstanding tonight, I've got to say, and he'll just get better and better, playing alongside Mane and Salah and Firmino. So that is a front four, big time.
Absolutely. 2 very well taken goals as well if we look at the first half. But the run he made, you mentioned it on commentary, very intelligent run for his first goal. But the Atalanta defence, 3 defenders basically spread across the entire width of the pitch, and that allowed him the space to run into as well.
Well, what happens with Liverpool, certainly when they get their first goal in any game, They come out, they think they've got to win the game. They're the home side, take it to Liverpool, and that just plays into Liverpool's hands. The power and the pace that the front three have got. You know that Mane and Salah are going to run in behind and stretch play, and that just creates space for Jota to come into and form his own type of problems. And for Liverpool's point of view, he'll end up, I'm sure, on about an hour or 65, 70 minutes if the game's won. He'll bring the front three off as he did against Ajax, rest them for the weekend, and he's fighting on both fronts, Klopp, and doing a really good job at it.
Absolutely, his side leading by 2 goals at the break. A big second half for Atalanta on the way to see if they can claw themselves back into it. I'll leave you for the second half with the former England defender Stuart Pearce and Sam Matterface.
Thank you very much, Hugh. And as we get underway at the start of the second half, I can't see any changes as of yet to either the lineup of Liverpool or Atalanta, who now are shooting from right to left in that black and blue striped kit with black shorts and black socks, and Liverpool all in red with white trim down the sides and a little bit of jade green as well. You mentioned about how for the Diogo Jota first goal that the defenders were spread all out across the 18-yard box. Well, that's just how Atalanta line up. They have 3 central defenders, but only really one of them plays as a centre-half. The other 2 really play as like almost full-backs. Here is Mojica, who is nominally a wing-back, but more like a winger, getting towards the edge of the area, flicking across into the centre, and it takes a deflection off a Liverpool body and goes behind the way for the first corner. I'll go through the 2 lineups for you. Sportiello is the Atalanta goalkeeper. Toloi, Palomino, Jim City are those 3 centre-halves, with Hateboer and Mojica on the flanks, Pasalic and Frula in midfield, and then Papu Gomez behind Muriel and Zapata in attack. We'll just break for the corner, which will be taken by Gomez in towards the centre. It's low and not particularly good, cleared away by Jones, and right upfield to Salah, and Salah is galloping away over the halfway line. Hateboer giving chase, but Salah's got to the edge of the area. He's coming on his left foot and he's whipped it towards the far post and in the corner. It's a brilliant counter-attack goal from Liverpool. It may only be November the 3rd, but Liverpool have gone early with the fireworks. It's taken less than 90 seconds for them to score in the second half. A brilliant counter-attack from an Atalanta corner, and Mo Salah has his 9th goal of the season. He ran fully 45 yards to get to the edge of the box, cut in past Hateboer, and then on his left foot slammed the ball into the top corner to make it Atalanta 0, Liverpool 3.
Well, a top-class finish from a top-class player. As soon as he set sail, he was almost 15, 20 metres in his own half. Atalanta had pushed up, and Liverpool are so dangerous when you've got a corner against them because they're so quick on the counter-attack. And Salah's put the game beyond Atalanta now, I'm sure. And this for Klopp will be fantastic. I'm sure that he'll rest 1 or 2 players and just see them over the line.
Well, we knew that Atalanta had come back from 2-0 down last week, but coming back from 3-0 down might be a completely different kettle of fish for them, because Liverpool have raced away inside the first 2 minutes of the second half and scored a 3rd goal, which really now should put this game to bed. The Liverpool lineup didn't get a chance to do it for the start of the second half. Such was the quickness and swiftness of that Salah counter-attack. Here's Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Williams, Gomez and Robertson, Henderson, Jones and Wijnaldum, Salah, Jota and Mane. And this is Talk Sport. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 3, and the goals coming from Jota and then from Mohamed Salah. And if you're Atalanta, what do you do now?
Well, basically they're shell-shocked, aren't they? You know, it's damage limitation the way the game's going at present. They finished the half well, Liverpool, and then straight after half-time to come out and get a goal of that magnitude, and the strikers will be thinking there's more goals in this game
and
for us.
Mane is clipping the ball over the top of an advancing goalkeeper who's come a very long way, and Salah has played him in, and Mane has chipped the goalkeeper to make it 4-0. Well, damage limitation might be the operation, but it's not working very well. Atalanta are being battered here. Liverpool pulling them apart at will. Salah involved, Jota, Salah, and now Mane on the score sheet. It's Atalanta 0, Liverpool 4.
Well, Hateboy is having an absolute shocker at the moment. It seems all the good Liverpool play is in and around him, and he just can't deal with the movement. And it was Salah the provider on that occasion, and a fantastic finish once again. It's almost the perfect night for Liverpool. All their strikers have scored. They're 4-0 up. The game's finished now, and Jurgen will look to the weekend, and I'm sure he'll rest his players sooner rather than later, certainly the key ones for him.
I'm not saying these goals are coming from nothing, but they're coming from situations which are and should be defendable. For example, Salah's ball, picking it up in an area 5-6 yards outside the penalty area with defenders around him. He shouldn't be allowed to find Sadio Mane in that sort of zone.
No, he shouldn't, but they're always looking to go in behind a defence, and they're always looking for a dynamic run. So you know full well, if you're a Liverpool player and you pick the ball up in a deep line position, you're going to have at least two runners going and driving in behind the back line of the opposition, making intelligent runs, and that's why there's so much of a threat.
It's almost insignificant now, whatever Gianpiero Gasperini does to try and rectify the situation, because it's not going to work, is it? Gomez with a corner at the other end, and it's flicked goalwards by Zapata, and it's caught down towards his left by Alisson. An opportunity for Atalanta to get on the score sheet. They're threatening to make changes here, Atalanta, but it might be just a little bit too late for all of that. Liverpool have run riot here in Bergamo. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 4 on Talk Sport. And 4 goals that will certainly signify Liverpool's intent, and that will be another clean sheet if they can maintain this scoreline, signalling that they mean business in this competition once more. I'm not saying that they're already through to the group stages, the knockout stages of this competition, but it'll be very close, won't it, from here?
It certainly will. There's no doubt in my mind that Liverpool are out of this group and on their way, and probably with a game or two to spare at least. So it's an ideal campaign as it stands at the moment for Liverpool. I think their goal was threatened early on in the game, but the longer the game goes on, it only looks like Liverpool scoring again.
They've won a free kick over on the far side, about 5 yards outside the penalty area, and here's a substitution. That substitution sees Matteo Pessina, a central midfielder who was impressive last season on loan from Hellas Verona, replacing Duvan Zapata. And I suppose, Stuart, that's a sort of bit of conservatism from Gianpiero Gasperino.
Well, he certainly would know, I think, in his heart of hearts, that this game is way beyond him at the moment. And Zapata had a really good opportunity just slightly earlier to equalise, just looking at the replay of that, and he's gone to head it, and it sort of half hit him on the shoulder.
Oh, well, they did put up the 91, and now they've put up the 9 as Liverpool put the ball into the penalty area, and it's Luis Muriel who actually ends up coming off for Atalanta. But still, Pessina comes on, and he'll be in the heart of midfield to try and add greater protection to a back line that has been ripped to shreds in the 53 minutes that we've had so far in this game. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 4 on Talk Sport. Henderson looking for Salah, who takes the ball down towards the right. It's collected by Henderson, and then Salah again. Salah back to Alexander-Arnold, and then it's played square into Gomez. Gomez over towards the far side, and Liverpool with a terrific display, it must be said, tonight. I think they've come to Italy and approached it in a brilliant way.
I think this performance, Sam, has probably been their best performance of the season, both in League and Cup. You know, they've been really strong tonight. They've done what they had to do defensively. A couple of early skirmishes potentially, but they're away from home, they're 4-0 up, and going forward they're outstanding.
Mojica trying to go forward for Atalanta. Salah is beaten to the ball. Mojica's crossed towards the far post, headed down towards Zapata from Pasalic, and then Jones comes across and just shuffles the ball out towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and Liverpool are able to clear. And it was a dangerous ball, and now they're on the counter-attack again, and the goalkeeper's come out, and Jota's round him, and Jota's going to finish it for the hat-trick, and he does, and it's 5-0 to Liverpool. And Diogo Jota has a hat-trick in Liverpool red for the first time. He'll be taking home the match ball. Liverpool will be taking home the points. It's a thrashing in Bergamo. The Liverpool Reds running riot. Atalanta all over the place. The goalkeeper at fault on this occasion. Jota, cool, calm and collected, slots the ball into an empty net from a 45-degree angle to make it Atalanta 0, Liverpool 5.
Well, they just can't handle the movement of Liverpool up front. You know, once again, there's always at least one player, often two. On that occasion, it was just Jota dipping his shoulder, diving in behind, and he just run away, and they know where the goal is when they get in. Any of the front three, they'll score if they've given half a chance, and it's an absolute masterclass in attacking football.
It's sensational, absolutely sensational to watch. I mean, Atalanta have played their part in the downfall with some sloppy defensive work. I mean, I'm still unconvinced by the goalkeeper's decision making on that occasion, but Diego Jota, he's finishing excellent. The way he calmly just took it wide of the goalkeeper and then just rolled it into an empty net. Brilliant.
Yeah, there's no panic when he gets in, you know. When you see him score goals, you look at him and you think he gets in and he almost transfer any pressure onto the goalkeeper and say, well, how are you going to keep this out with his demeanour? His technique's very good. And what it's done, you know, he might just take the Liverpool attack to a different dimension.
That's worrying for everybody else in the Premier League, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's one of those you almost feel as though, well, I'm glad we played them Saturday and not this Saturday coming, looking at this performance.
Well, Manchester City are playing tonight as well. They lead by 1-0. Liverpool doing just a little bit better than that. They're leading by 5-0 live on TalkSport. Tomorrow night we've got live commentary of Istanbul Başakşehir against Manchester United from 5:55 on TalkSport 2, whilst on TalkSport at 7 o'clock Hugh Wozencroft brings you Champions League and EFL action from around the grounds. James Savundra and Danny Mills will be at Chelsea against Rennes. 7:45 tomorrow night on TalkSport 2, Derby against QPR with Ian Danter and David Connolly. Thursday night, fireworks night, explosions from Alex Crook and Clive Allen as Ludogorets are the opponents for Jose Mourinho's Tottenham. That's on TalkSport 2. Friday night, it's Cardiff against Bristol City. That's on TalkSport 2. And Saturday, we've got loads of live games for you from the Championship and the Premier League on game day. And it's Everton against Manchester United to get us started at 12:30. Around the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30. At 5:30, it's Chelsea versus Sheffield United. And then at 8 o'clock, West Ham against Fulham with Alex Crook and David Connolly. Here's Salah picking the ball up on the edge of the centre circle, looking to chip the goalkeeper. And he does manage to get it on target from... it must be 50 yards. Launched into the air. It wasn't quite Kemar Rowe or Jordi Gomez from the Europa League the other night, but it was certainly a testing effort, and it had Portiello backpedaling towards his own goal line, and he had to be concentrated and clear in order to collect it.
Yeah, it was an effort of a man full of confidence, and 5-0 up. I think if it hadn't have been 5-0 up, he'd have probably run forward and slid it into the back of the net, but a cheeky effort all the same.
5-0. 58 minutes on the clock on TalkSport. And Atalanta were hammered 5-1 by an English team last season when they went to the Etihad in the Champions League group stages. In fact, they were beaten quite badly in their first 3 matches. It looked like their Champions League excursion was going to be very short-lived. They lost their first 3 matches last season, but still managed to qualify in a sort of fairy tale mode towards the end of the group stages. Liverpool finished top of their group despite losing in Italy to Napoli early on. I don't think there's much danger of them losing tonight. Here is Gomez for Atalanta. Trent Alexander-Arnold away. Henderson in field. Up to the halfway line and Wijnaldum. And that was a crunching tackle from behind by Reece Williams, which knocks the passes to the floor and gives Atalanta a free kick just left of the midway point of the Liverpool half, and it goes all the way back to Palomino wearing number 6 and hoping that Liverpool don't score number 6. Diogo Jota's just shrugged him off the ball though as he got a little bit befuddled, and when Diogo Jota at 5'7" is nudging over a 6'4" centre back, you know you're in a game.
Yeah, there's just a real determination there to keep scoring more goals, I think, but are rightly judged to have given a foul away.
Well, Liverpool haven't won in Italy since December 2012. They won in the Europa League group stages against Udinese in Udine. Who was number one then, do you think?
In what year was that?
December 2012. I knew that would get you. Yeah. And Liverpool have the ball on the halfway line. Do you want some time to think about it?
No.
Pop singer.
Oh, Kylie.
Male.
Oh.
Ever heard of Troublemaker?
No.
No, that's not a pop singer, that's the name of the song.
No. Sadly not.
Ollie Murs.
Ollie Murs. Oh.
You know him, don't you?
I think I've seen Ollie Murs at a festival. What's the festival out near Chelmsford?
Chelmsford Festival?
V-Fest.
V-Festival,
yeah. I think
he
was on the card with the Phonics.
Well, there you go. Startling revelation of the night. Stuart Pearce has been to see Ollie Murs.
No, I went to see the Stereophonics, my friend. Come on now.
Henderson down the left, big TalkSport listener, is Ollie Murs. And he's I've seen him a few times, actually. He's a good showman. Here is Gomez down the right side for Atalanta. He's played Dancing on Ice as well.
Ah, that's where the connection comes.
Henderson up to halfway, just right of the centre circle, and Wijnaldum, the game at a walking pace, a stroll for Liverpool in northwest Lombardy, an area that was ravaged by coronavirus in the spring. A real horrible situation developed.
It'll be interesting. Wijnaldum's been booked, and
he's just had a collision, hasn't he, on the halfway line with Mojica, who's holding his mouth. I don't think there was much in that.
No. There often isn't a deal in it when a player hits the deck rolling around. I think he's just put his elbow out to shield the ball and caught the face of Mojica.
No problems for the referee, and Mojica is back on his feet again. Looks like Ruslan Malinovsky is about to come on for Atalanta. Here is Gomez running at Henderson, playing the ball down the left channel, looking for Zapato, puts the defender on his backside, shoots towards the far corner and hits the inside of the post, thinks it's gone in, and it seems to have come back out of the goal and run along the line. It's still 5-0.
Well, how that's not gone in, I don't know. It's deceived my eyes looking at it. It's hit the underside of the bar, I think, in the conjunction with the post, and it just comes straight back across the line.
That almost defied the laws of physics, didn't it?
Certainly did.
Here is Mane running clear for Liverpool, out towards the left-hand side. He's shrugged off by Palomino. I think Mane is being told that he was the one who was initially guilty of a foul, and a substitution is about to take place, and off comes Pasalic and on comes Malinovsky. I'd love to see a replay of that. Do you reckon it hit the underside of the bar and then the post and then came out?
That's the only thing I can think of. How that has not ended up in the goal, as you rightly say. We'd have to get Einstein to look into the physics behind that to see how that's
I'm not sure
out.
He's available tonight.
No, fair point.
I'd ask you to text him because your phone is from that sort of era.
I've got Einstein's number on my contacts.
Here is Mojica into Malinovsky, who's just come off the bench to replace Pasalic. Malinovsky, the set-piece specialist from Ukraine. Not sure he's going to be able to turn this around. 27 minutes to go. Elsewhere tonight, Manchester City lead Olympiacos by 1-0. Brentford have drawn 1-1 with Swansea. Bristol City have beaten Huddersfield over on TalkSport 2. Norwich 0, Millwall 0. Sheffield Wednesday beat Bournemouth. And in the later games, Blackburn Rovers and Middlesbrough is 0-0. And Cardiff against Barnsley is going one way at the moment. It's going to Neil Harris's team. 2-0 the score. A foul on the far side by Palomino on Diogo Jota. And a free kick is going to be given. Are you surprised that Jurgen Klopp hasn't made any substitutions yet?
Yes, I am. Considering 2 weeks ago, I think it was, in Ajax, on the hour, literally on the hour, he took the front three off. He had a... Oh, we're just looking at the replay again, aren't we? He's hit it was literally the top of the post, wasn't it?
He's hit the junction of crossbar and post, hasn't he?
Has, yeah.
And that's why I think it's a sort of double tap, very quick double tap, which has sent it spiralling outwards rather than inwards. Let's go off to the game at the Etihad and get the very latest from TalkSport's Dom McGuinness.
Right, it's Manchester City 1, Olympiacos 0, an hour played, but Manchester City in the second half all over the place, keep giving the ball away. Valbuena's had a great opportunity to level things up. Al Arabi's just had one saved by Edison. Manchester City need to get their act together again. Torres with the only goal of the game, that on 12 minutes. City 1, Olympiacos 0.
Back in Bergamo, Liverpool leading by 5-0, and Naby Keita is coming on for Andy Robertson. That's the first change. I swear I saw James Milner. Thought that would be more likely, but I think the numbers that the fourth official is putting up is in a completely different order to the way that the players are entering the field of play. Henderson coming off, Robertson coming off, Keita coming on, Firmino coming on, and James Milner coming on as well for Diogo Jota, who I think can be pretty satisfied, Stuart Pearce, with his night's work.
Yeah, certainly. I think, well, the whole of Liverpool will be satisfied with their work, but Jota has been absolutely outstanding tonight. His finishes has been great, his general all-round play's been outstanding, and I guarantee you something, he'll be in the starting lineup on Sunday against Manchester City.
5-0 to Liverpool, who have made 3 changes. You are allowed 5 in the Champions League, unlike in the Premier League, and Liverpool, I'm sure, will probably use most of those this evening. The ball inside their own half with Gini Wijnaldum. Been not an easy evening for Liverpool. It started a bit end-to-end this game, but Liverpool took control with 2 goals from Diogo Jota and then really killed it as a contest just 90 seconds after half-time with a goal from Mohamed Salah. And then since then it's been pretty much plain sailing, especially after Mane scored again within another 2 minutes. And Liverpool really taking Atalanta to the sword and slicing them apart. Alisson, who did have a couple of fumbles in the first 10-15 minutes of the game, actually hasn't really been tested since. Here is Gomez. The only real chance that they have had is when they hit the junction of crossbar and post through Zapata a few moments ago. 5-0. Here is Mojica on the near side, the right. Curtis Jones with more minutes in his boots again this evening. Plays it up to Firmino, who's robbed of possession by Jim City. Goes infield towards Malinovsky. And then it's touched out wide by Frula towards Hatterball. Hatterball with a diagonal ball to Zapata, who drops deep, nudges it to the right, comes back into Zapata, who shrugs off one challenge from Keita, runs towards the edge of the area, looks dangerous as he takes on another, and then shoots towards the far stick, and it's a brilliant save by Alisson. Well, that was a swashbuckling run from Duvan Zapata. No wonder he's got 5 goals in Atalanta's game so far. A brilliant darting run inside and outside, weaving his way to a shooting position. It was a good save by Alisson down low as he went towards the far corner of the net.
I've got to say, Zapata's run was brilliant. It was only matched by Alisson's save down to his right hand side. Really top save that was.
Gomez back to the edge of the area, struck low and firm by Malinowski, and it's an easy catch for Alisson on this occasion, and Liverpool bowl it out towards the far side. I think it'd be good for Liverpool's confidence if they can keep another clean sheet in the Champions League, Stuart.
Yeah, I think that'll be the aim for them, definitely, certainly at this stage. You know, I know they like to score, they're not sitting back on a 5-0 lead at the moment, but I think a clean sheet will please Klopp without a doubt.
Keita for Liverpool, midway inside the Atalanta half, a couple of steps in from the left touchline, finds Mane, then back to Keita again. Atalanta, traditionally a small yo-yo club from an hour outside Milan. All changed with Gasparini's appointment 4 years ago. They finished 4th, went into the Europa League, finished 7th, then finished 3rd and 3rd again, qualifying for the Champions League 2 years running after challenging at the top of Serie A. Currently sitting in 4th position. They staged a remarkable comeback in the Champions League last year after losing their first 3 games, and then got to the quarter-finals when only a heartbreaking turn of events stopped them from reaching a semi-final. But they are well beaten here tonight. Here is a chance for Firmino after a mishap by Toloy, but he gets away with it, and it scoops off the top of his toe and straight back to the goalkeeper. A left wing cross from Salah should have been routinely dealt with, but it wasn't, Stuart Pearce.
No, it should have been. You're right there, and almost panic defending there. Ball whipped into the box. You thought the pass to Firmino was never on. He's played the pass and lucky to get away with it.
Ball down the right to Duvan Zapata to chase, and out comes goalkeeper Alisson and clears into the stand. He too has had a bit of a trim. Maybe he's worried about lockdown coming and not being able to get a haircut. Must admit, I was straight in the barbers on Monday morning.
Were you? I've given up with the barbers now since the start of lockdown. Dotty does mine. Or I just drop it off somewhere, and pick it up later.
You've never really been one for sort of,
For what, Sam? What have I haven't been one for?
For cutting-edge style in terms of haircuts. I mean, you did go for a period in the 80s where you had the old highlights in.
The mullet. I had the highlighted mullet. You're right.
I had that in my Panini sticker book of 1986.
I put that haircut out to grass now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's my primary school days. Here is Alisson forward towards Milner. Milner playing in the left back role vacated by Robertson when he went off as a substitute. He's launched that forward for Mane to chase. This should be meat and drink for central defender Berat Jimsiti of Atalanta, but even then he conspires to give Liverpool the ball back in the far corner of the field.
Yeah, there's a nervousness about that back line of Atalanta now there. I mean, Liverpool have rocked them so much with their pace and movement. Every time the ball is in the defensive area, there's an element of panic there.
57% possession for Liverpool on the night. To go away from home and dominate the ball as they have is particularly impressive. They're a very good team, but it just shows how their hardest challenge, as is expected in this group, away at Atalanta, has been pretty much a breeze for them tonight.
It certainly has, and the good thing is as well for the Liverpool back line, people questioning Liverpool not firing and whatever, and Hugh mentioned it before the game, but you've got to say they've been fantastic right through the thirds.
Here is Firmino trying to slalom his way to a shooting position. Eventually gets the shot against the defender. It comes back to the edge of the box, and Mo Salah has it, right angle of the penalty area, sent wide by Moyika, collected by Jones. Jones spots the run of Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's tight on this right hand side, just outside the Atalanta box. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 5, 72 on the clock. TalkSport with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. Here is Salah back to the halfway line, deciding that there is no route to goal, so he goes safety first. And Liverpool look to build from the back. Another swinging ball forward by Milner, kept in just by Alexander-Arnold on the touchline. Up into the path of Firmino, takes it on, helps it towards Jones, who's knocked off the ball and to the ground, and is looking for a penalty. Referee says nothing doing. Jones springs back to his feet, wants to win it. Alexander-Arnold does, but takes it out of play, and it goes away for an Atalanta throw in the left full-back position. 5-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah, more than comfortable 5-0 at the moment as well. Potential penalty appeal there for Jones, who went down. Slight nudge in his back, but I think the referee feeling a little bit sorry for the team being beaten 5-0 at present.
Well, he's given a free kick to Jones now after a collision with Moyika, and that foul that he's just given the free kick for is a lot less physical than the penalty that he turned down 30 seconds before.
Exactly. Almost a carbon copy without the violence attached to it.
Oh dear. Consistency of lumpy custard. 5-0.
Well, we're waiting for the referee to talk to Jurgen Klopp about something or other, the penalty appeal. Went to see a good film this afternoon, by the way.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the trial of the Chicago 7. It was about riots in the 60s, about the Vietnam War.
Okay.
Sacha Baron Cohen's in it, and one or two other well-known celebs. Worth a watch.
Okay, that's a good little tip. We don't just do music and fashion on this programme. Well, actually, we don't do fashion at all. Stuart doesn't anyway, and not unless it's come free from the West Ham Club shop. But we do films as well now, so we're branching out. Okay, cinema for that, are they open?
Yeah, they are. Well, they're shut tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day.
Alexander-Arnold swinging the ball towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's over the head of Williams. The free kick eventually allowed to take place after Jurgen Klopp picked up a yellow card for mouthing off to the referee. The ball picked up by Malinovsky, and they run it clear towards the halfway line. Malinovsky plays it square out to the left, where it's picked up by Moika. He charges up to the halfway line. He's being chased by Keita. Doesn't manage to get hold of it, Keita, and Gomez takes over. Malinovsky sends it wide towards the far side. It's a wild ball out to the far side, which is caught in the wind and goes straight out of play and away for a throw-in.
Yeah, you get the impression now both managers will be happy for the final whistle to go. Liverpool without any injuries, touch wood for them, for the weekend, and a real feel-good factor about the club at the moment.
And Jurgen Klopp was booked by the Romanian referee for, I think, contesting the decision that we were talking about, sort of almost laughing about. He didn't get a penalty for Curtis Jones and then did get a free kick for Curtis Jones. The referee didn't take too kindly to being spoken to in that aggressive fashion, and a yellow card was given. Here come Atalanta, forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and Pessina plays it wide towards the left. The cross into the box is dealt with by Gomez, and it's hoisted out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area. And it was quite a swashbuckling run, that, from centre-back Berit Jimsiti, who joined the attack a la sort of Chris Wilder's Sheffield United and their centre-half. It was a Jack O'Connell run, wasn't it?
It was a very good run, in fact. I think the initial pass was meant for somebody else before he received it back and went astray, but luckily enough to one of his players, and had a good opportunity there. But Gomez, who I think's had a solid evening tonight, him and Williams at the heart of the defence.
Atalanta with the underlapping centre-halves, just like the team from Bramall Lane. But Liverpool holding firm, and it is important that Joe Gomez has a couple of good solid performances under his belt, because there have been wobbles. He was the one who headed the ball back into the path of Pablo Fornals on Saturday night, which led to the West Ham United goal. And we're seeing a replay of the Curtis Jones attempt of a penalty. The fourth official was then spoken to rather voluminously by Jurgen Klopp, and that's why the yellow card came out. The confirmation of that from UEFA in the past few seconds. Jurgen Klopp, who doesn't mind expressing his view on the touchline. Ball hoisted forward for Liverpool. Salah chasing after Jimsiti, tried to nudge it back to his goalkeeper with little power, but goalkeeper this time was very quick off his line and gobbled it up inside the 18-yard box. We've been relentless, Liverpool, though, bearing in mind they're 5-0 up. They've still tried to go and get a 6, haven't they?
I was just going to make that point. The energy of Salah and Mane, not just to make forward runs dynamically going forward, but they'll chase back into fullback areas to turn the ball over. They're a real shining example of forward play and energy for the team.
13 minutes to go. Liverpool lead by 5-0 elsewhere tonight in the Championship. Brentford 1, Swansea City 1, Huddersfield 1, Bristol City 2, Norwich 0, Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, AFC Bournemouth 0. All those full-time scores. And Blackburn Rovers 0, Middlesbrough 0 as a current score. That kicks off at 7:45. Cardiff City 3, Barnsley 0. They're the latest from the Championship. Wins in League One tonight for Blackpool, for Peterborough, who are top of the table, for Portsmouth away from home, and for Charlton. Here's Milner on the left side into the area. Tries a strike which hits Hatterball and spirals into the night sky, the murky, wet night sky, and goes behind and away for a corner to Liverpool. Also wins tonight for Gillingham, for Oxford United, for Plymouth Argyle in a 4-2 win, a 6-goal thriller. For Sunderland, who have beaten Ipswich tonight, Stuart. Big result.
There certainly are. As I say, the division's taken off, and the Premier League's thrown up some strange results, and I'm sure that'll emulate right through the leagues, with this with the season we're having at present.
Tsimikas and Nico Williams about to come on. The ball is on the far side. The corner taken short to Jones, and then back to Milner, who delivers it into the box away by Duvan Zapata. Headed forward again by Alexander-Arnold, and then Atalanta get it towards the halfway line. TalkSport are supporting England and Manchester United's forward Marcus Rashford's End Child Food Poverty campaign tomorrow. We'll be up and down the country from the early part of the morning with Laura Woods, Ali McCoist and Carlton Cole at the Deptford Fair Share Depot as they distribute food and find out about what the charity are doing to try and ensure that children who need it get healthy hot meals on a regular basis. I know it sounds a little bit far-fetched that in 2020 there is so many people in need of such help, but please give us a listen throughout the day tomorrow as the TalkSport family visit various Fair Share depots across the UK to highlight their need for more volunteers, more money and more food. You can volunteer to be an admin assistant, a driver assistant, a warehouse assistant, a community fundraiser. Many people are facing incredibly difficult times and cannot afford to financially donate, but another way to help is to volunteer. You may have some time, especially over the next month or so. Please help if you can. Go to their website, fairshare.org.uk, if you have 5 minutes spare. The ball is out on the far side. A raft of substitution about to take place. 2 for Atalanta and 2 for Liverpool with 10 minutes to go. Mojica being replaced by Matteo Ruggeri, who makes his Champions League debut. Not in particularly happy circumstances, an 18-year-old. And the second Atalanta change is Fabio De Paroli, versatile right back on loan from Sampdoria, 23 years of age. He comes on for Hateboer. And Nico Williams and Kostas Tsimikas are also coming on. Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of those being replaced. It means that Liverpool now have used all 5 of their substitutes, and it is a Champions League debut for Nico Williams, who's had a very good start to the campaign. He scored a winner for Wales in the international break before last. He will be going away with Wales for the next international break too. Very accomplished defender, a laid-back character as well, who I think very much knows his own ability without being too cocky. He's lost his marker here, and here come Atalanta into the penalty area. Ball sent forward, squared into the box, cleared away by Liverpool defender before it can reach Zapata, who's got it back again. He slams the ball forward, saved by goalkeeper Alisson, and headed away by Reece Williams and out for a corner. Well, they've had chances to get on the score sheet tonight, Atalanta.
Zapata looks to the skies. I mean, he's hit the underside of the bar. He's had a wonderful save by Alisson, and that one once again at point blank range, smashed straight just above the goalkeeper's head, and 2 strong hands to keep that one out. So he's had 3 great efforts.
Malinovsky deep towards the far post. Zapata hits Williams and is cleared away up to the halfway line, and from another corner Salah is racing away and he's taking on Frula. He's going to the area, he slipped it past the goalkeeper but wide of the post. What an opportunity to make it 6 for Liverpool, and it was a carbon copy of the goal he scored just after half time. Galloping away through the Atalanta half, getting beyond Frula, and as the goalkeeper delayed this time in coming out, Salah delayed his shot, and when eventually he did try to poke it wide, the goalkeeper had made the angle so tight for him he couldn't reach the far corner.
Yeah, I think the finish was a la Jota earlier. A little dink over the goalie would have secured a goal for him, but the pace that he moves at.
Here is a header from Mane inside the area from a Milner cross, which is stopped by Sportiello. And that came from the corner, which resulted after that Salah effort, which was finger-tipped wide by the keeper. The cross into the box from Milner this time. Rising highest, inexplicably, is Mane, because he's one of the shortest players on the pitch. But he managed to get up above static defenders and head the ball goalwards, but straight into the arms of Sportiello, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a fantastic header. Generated great power. Done everything right, apart from the angle of the header. Went straight down to the goalkeeper's knees, basically, straight at him. But just saying about Salah there, the pace he can run with the ball is quite incredible. He can run quicker with the ball than he can sort of as a freestyler.
Gomez is off, and on has come Sam Lammers, the Dutch youngster, 23 years of age, used to play for PSV Eindhoven, signed in the summer. He's come off the bench wearing number 7 and will play up front for Atalanta for the final 6 minutes of the game. Goal at the Etihad. TalkSport's Don McGuinness.
Manchester City 2, Olympiacos 0. 10 minutes to play. City finally have a cushion that they don't really deserve. In the second half they've been poor, but it's the substitute Gabriel Jesus. He's missed the last 9 games, picking up Kevin De Bruyne's ball through, a little feint and a right foot shot in the roof of the net. City added to the Torres goal in the first half. City 2, Olympiacos 0.
Well, that's a big boost for Manchester City ahead of the weekend game against Liverpool, isn't it, Stuart? That Gabriel Jesus is back off the bench and scoring goals.
It certainly is. In a game that you thought might be very, very comfortable for him, it sounds as though it's been a bit of a struggle, which is quite a surprise, but having Jesus back is a real plus for them.
Well, they play Liverpool on Sunday. We'll keep you updated throughout the course of the afternoon. 2 till 5 Sunday session. Darren Bent's Boot Room on Sunday afternoon as well. Andy Cole will be back in the studio this Sunday. We did miss him this weekend, although we did have a good replacement in David James, who was talking about, because of 2 incidents of goalkeepers going up front for the final few moments of games, one in the Premier League, Robin Olsen for Everton against Newcastle, and Sandy McIver, the Everton goalkeeper in the Women's FA Cup final, was talking about that incident against Middlesbrough where you chucked him on up top.
Yeah, well, in fact, I saw the footage of that only 2 nights ago, and it was quite incredible. If you've not seen J-Mo's footage of playing up front, it is comedy at its best, I got to say.
It was your idea.
Yeah, but listen, I needed a little titter, and I certainly got one.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, sure it is.
Yeah, he caused absolute mayhem for the time he was on. He really did.
Well, that was probably the idea, wasn't it?
It was the idea, yeah.
Here is Firmino for Liverpool, who hasn't really caused much mayhem when he has been on. All the mayhem was caused by Diogo Jota in the period of time that he was on the pitch. A hat-trick for him, and that will be the headlines tomorrow. And Liverpool haven't conceded a lotter, but they've got 3 goals from Jota, and they lead 5-0. Here is Zapata moving towards the edge of the area. He's had a few chances that hasn't managed to convert them. Up towards Lammers inside the 18-yard box. It's headed away, and Liverpool look to bring it clear with Curtis Jones, who's looked accomplished again in that central midfield role. When you bear in mind that he's not one of those huge money acquisitions from some big super European giant. He's been schooled at Melwood and made it through the academy of Liverpool and got into the first team. That's particularly impressive. Here's another one. Nico Williams into the centre. Oh, Salah's fallen over. That was a good cross as well. And he just slipped at the vital moment, and there's a bit of a conflab, as there often is, between Sadio Mane and Salah about who was supposed to run where. And Liverpool still have the ball. Shimikas, cross into the box, away by Jimsiti, and then picked up by Frula and cleared away for Atalanta. What do you think of Curtis Jones?
I think he's been very, very good, actually, especially tonight. I think he's had an outstanding game. He sort of goes under the radar. He does the simple things very, very well. You know, he knits things together, works really hard for the team. I thought he was pretty good at the weekend as well, to be fair.
Is this an example of Liverpool hitting their stride now? All teams had a short pre-season. Some were very much affected by positive COVID-19 tests when coming back from international duty, some from holiday over the summer, which restricted their pre-season training even more, and that really has sort of contributed to a lack of fitness at the beginning of the campaign. But is this Liverpool sort of showing that they are finding their rhythm?
Well, I'd certainly say it's been their best performance of the season from what I've seen so far. I think they've been really good, and the important thing in as well, their counter-attack football and their finishing has been outstanding from the front three. It really has. And listen, I think they've put a marker down now to go into the game at the weekend.
90 seconds to go. 5-0. Corner for Atalanta into the near post. Steered goalwards. And it's easily saved by Alisson. It's been such a raft of substitutes that it is Matteo Ruggeri, the 18-year-old, who gets the touch towards the near post, which the goalkeeper drops down to save. And they themselves have made all 5 substitutions now. Sam Lammers, Matteo Pessina, Matteo Ruggeri, Malinovsky and De Paoli have all come on in the second half, but to little or no effect really for Atalanta, who have had chances to get on the score sheet, but they've all come from one man in Duvan Zapata, who's been the outstanding threat. The rest of the team have had quiet evenings, and the defenders maybe too quiet an evening, in that they have really failed to impact the game and allowed Liverpool to construct chance after chance, chances that they have taken, and they have an iron grip and had an iron grip on this game for a very long time, Jurgen Klopp's team. And as we move into the last few minutes, I think this goes down as one of their best performances on the road under Jurgen Klopp, I think, in the Champions League.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's been a real complete performance. They keep a clean sheet in these last couple of minutes, they'll be delighted. There's been goals all around Europe this evening, hasn't there? You know, it's was a trend that I think's crept into European football. You know, it's been pretty free scoring. Teams are going to take teams on and outscore each other, and there's been 3, 4, 5s and 6s around Europe.
Well, Real Madrid are leading by 3-2 against Inter Milan. Bayern Munich leading Red Bull Salzburg by 4-2 away from home. Porto beating Marseille 3-0. Manchester City only 2-0 in their game. Midtjylland and Ajax 2-1 to the team from Amsterdam at present. Hugh Wozencroft will round up all the night's action before we leave you at 10 o'clock. And the sports bar is open for business, and it is open for business after 10 o'clock. 08717 2233 44. And you will be able to drink in the wisdom of Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy tonight. 08717 2233 44. It's not Liverpool's biggest away win in the Champions League. That came 3 years ago against Maribor in the group stage of this competition, but it is an impressive and assertive victory nonetheless, as 2 minutes of added time are added on. And here is Pessina down the left hand side, moving towards the edge of the area, trying to cross the ball into the centre for Atalanta, but it's smuggled behind by Nico Williams.
Yeah, Liverpool just got to see out the last 30 seconds to take a valuable clean sheet away with them, but I'm sure, knowing Jurgen Klopp, he'll focus, I'm sure, on that hat-trick of Jota. When you sign any player, you think, I hope he hits the ground running early on. He certainly has.
A third clean sheet in the Champions League this season for Liverpool, who have been questioned for their defensive capabilities, as Malinovsky delivers a corner into the near post. Might come through to Zapata, does, and he turns it into the goal. And is it going to be an offside that's going to deny him that goal, or is he going to be awarded the strike? I think it's going to be offside, and Liverpool are going to get their clean sheet, but only just, Stuart Pearce.
It was more luck than judgment, I've got to say, from Liverpool's back line. But he is the one that's looked as though he looks up to the skies as he walks away. He is the one that's looked most likely to score a goal.
There is a VAR check, I think, to just make sure that that goal is rightly being chalked off by the assistant over on the far side. There is a nervous wait for Liverpool, and then eventually it is confirmed that that goal has been disallowed and play can continue. It's still Liverpool 5, Atalanta 0, and that is how it finishes. A statement victory from Jurgen Klopp's team. Liverpool have now won all 3 of their Champions League matches this season and proudly sit on top of their Champions League group. 9 points at this stage will almost certainly take them into the round of 16, but it is a victory that has been constructed and finished off by Diego Jota, a first ever Liverpool hat-trick for him. It might also just give Jurgen Klopp the opportunity to rest 1 or 2 going into the latter few matches of this group stage, allowing a bit of rest and recuperation for his frontline stars, of which Jota at the moment is certainly one. It has finished in Bergamo with all 3 points for Liverpool. Liverpool 5-0 winners at Atalanta.
Diogo Jota has the match ball. He gets a cuddle off Andrew Robertson and James Milner for his troubles as well. 3 goals for him tonight and 3 goals for Manchester City now. Don McGuinness.
It is indeed. Manchester City 3, Olympiacos 0. Well, it makes it sound like it's been a comfortable routine night at the office for City. Well, it hasn't, but Cancelo on as a substitute has curled one in. An excellent strike added to Torres and Jesus. As I say, well, Torres was the first goal. Jesus late, making it 2-0, looking comfortable. And then Cancelo, but it hasn't been. The second half's been sloppy from City. As it is, it's going to look like a breeze, and it's 1 foot in the group, out of the group stages, into the knockout stages. Manchester City 3, Olympiacos 0.
Yeah, looks like it'll be 3 wins out of 3 for City, and of course it already is 3 wins out of 3. 9 points from 9 for Liverpool to start their Champions League campaign this year, looking all but definitely into the knockout stages already. Stuart Pearce, it was a fantastic night for them. We thought there might be 5 goals, but maybe shared between the two sides. Instead, it was Liverpool who ran riot, a good performance from their defence and especially from that attack.
We spoke before the game about Liverpool not firing on all cylinders. I think that was a statement of intent, I really do. Probably their best performance of the season. The attacking play was sumptuous, and as any manager, when you go out and sign somebody, you back to your own judgment, but to see a performance like that from Jota, he is going to be a big player to add to their striking options they've got.
And looking ahead to the Premier League weekend, there's no way you can put Jota on the bench, is there, if you're Jurgen Klopp?
No, he'll start the game. There's no doubt about that. The fact that he come off, I think, would probably nail that down. He'll certainly start. I think that front 3 that started the game will be the 3 that start on Sunday. But it was just a fantastic all-round great performance by Liverpool, I think.
A fantastic performance from them. We expected more from Atalanta, though. They never really delivered on the evening. The goalkeeping performance, the defensive performance, wasn't at the level to take on a team of the quality of Liverpool.
No, it wasn't. I mean, early on they had the odd skirmish in and around Liverpool's area, but nothing really come of it. And as soon as Liverpool scored, Atalanta opened up to try and get back in the game. It just plays into Liverpool's hands. They counter-attack so quickly. They've always got runners going in behind your defence, and if you open up slightly, they'll compensate from it, and they showed that with some outstanding finishing, by the way.
Yep, fantastic in front of goal tonight, Liverpool. Plenty to dissect on Sports Bar from 10 o'clock. Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy will be with you. You'll hear from Jurgen Klopp. You'll hear from Pep Guardiola as well. Wins for their teams tonight, and it is full-time at the Etihad Stadium. Don McGuinness.
And full-time, Manchester City 3, Olympiacos 0. So 3 wins in 3 from Group C for Manchester City. Well, they left it late to make this game safe. It was complete dominance in the first half, but only 1 goal to show for it at the break. The goal coming by way of Ferran Torres, his 3rd in 3 in the Champions League. Kevin De Bruyne, of course, Kevin De Bruyne with the assist. Second half, though, well, Pep Guardiola was frustrated. His side was sloppy. The visitors, well, they showed less respect and should have been level. Foden gifting the ball to Valbuena. Luckily, he put that wide. El Arabi forcing a safe medicine. City eventually getting a hold of it. Jesus off the bench. He's missed the last 9. Excellent finish, rattling it into the roof of the net. Substitutions were then made, and Cancelo, one of them, curled one in from the edge of the area to make it Manchester City 3, Olympiacos 0.
So let's bring you the scores in the Champions League this evening. Manchester City's Group C will start there. As you just heard, Manchester City 3, Olympiacos 0. Porto 3, Marseille 0 as well. Into Group D, Atalanta 0, Liverpool 5, as you heard on TalkSport this evening. Elsewhere, Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. In Group A, it finished Lokomotiv Moscow 1, Atletico Madrid 1. And Red Bull Salzburg 2, Bayern Munich 6. That game was 2-2 until about 9 minutes to go. Bayern showing their class in the end. And in Group B, Real Madrid getting the win they have sought so dearly in the Champions League so far this season. It finished Real Madrid 3, Inter Milan 2. Great game out in Spain. And Shakhtar Donetsk 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 6. If you want to react to any of the football you've seen tonight, as I said, you'll hear from Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola in Sports Bar from 10 p.m. But you can have your say on the evening's football. Diogo Jota with a hat-trick for Liverpool, a comfortable win for Manchester City as well, 3-0 at home. But Liverpool, as I said at the start of the night, they wanted a performance to go with the result as well in the Champions League, and they definitely got it tonight. It was fantastic from start to finish. 08717 223344. You'll be able to have your say on what you've seen, as I said, in Sports Bar from 10 p.m. with Jason and Andy. Let's quickly go back and speak to Stuart Pearce and round up the night's action. We've already spoken about Liverpool, your former club Manchester City getting a good win as well, and they too are all but definitely going to be in the knockout stages with a 3-0 win over Olympiacos tonight. The two sides meet in the Premier League at the weekend. And the interesting thing looking ahead to that is whether it really is this season going to be a match-up that decides the title. Manchester City haven't been electric so far. People saying it's as open as it could possibly be in the Premier League this season. How important is the game, Stuart?
I think it's absolutely vital. I don't think there'll be the gap between the two sides points-wise this year as there was last year. But I predicted Liverpool would win the league last year. I still think that they'll be too strong for anybody in the division this year. I still think they'll win it again this year and retain it. But if Liverpool have put a performance in tonight that have turned around and said, you know what, we're getting closer to the form that took us to the title last year, we look fantastic tonight, and for all of us looking from afar, this will be a wonderful game Sunday. And if they win it, they open up a gap between them and City, and to be honest with you, it's not easy to close those gaps.
Tomorrow night we'll be going around the grounds in the Championship and the Champions League as well. Chelsea host Rennes, Istanbul Başakşehir versus Manchester United. How important, quickly, Stuart, that Manchester United bounce back with a win tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they will. They've started this campaign brilliantly in Europe at the moment. I've got a feeling that they'll push on and do exactly the same again and get the 3 points. They've been a little bit up and down. I think when United play, you're not sure of what level of performance, but they've got outstanding players that can deliver great performances, and like Liverpool, have got players and strikers that can score goals.
Stuart Pearce, pleasure to be with you as always. My thanks to Sam Matterface. Another great commentary from the Champions League on TalkSport this evening. You can have your say on the way. You'll get reaction from the players and the two managers as well. Wins tonight for Manchester City and Liverpool. Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy is next. 08717 223344.
TalkSport Breakfast in partnership with Arnold Clark. Ultra smooth, seamless transmission between high-revving team talk and big club exclusives with super celebrity sports guests as standard. Plus, more goal talk to the gallon guarantee.
And he's gone in!
Feel the driving force of the turbocharged TalkSport Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6 on TalkSport with Arnold Clark. Reserve online, collect your car safely in branch, or choose free home delivery.
Ancestry is making millions of UK wartime records free to explore until Remembrance Sunday. Who will you remember? Discover your family's wartime story, learn about the part they played, and ensure their memory lives on. Bring your backstory to life with Ancestry. Registration required.
At the Halifax, we know that catching up and checking in on each other has never been more important. So when our customers couldn't come into a Halifax branch, we picked up the phone and gave them a call. In fact, this year we've made over 250,000 wellbeing calls to customers for a natter and a catch-up, just to see if they're doing okay. Halifax, it's a people thing.
Lola should be saying a virtual hello to her new clients right now, but instead she's saying
hello, stupid.
Awkward. Why, Lola? Why set up a fancy new loft office if your Wi-Fi doesn't reach it? Never fear. With BT Complete Wi-Fi, you'll be back with a bing. Only BT guarantees reliable Wi-Fi in every room or £100 back. £100 back. Why choose anyone else? BT. Beyond limits.
Up to 3 discs to guarantee 10 Mbps in every room or £100 off your next bill. Terms apply.
From cameras to lights, sensors to thermostats, Hive's range of smart devices work to make your home a smarter place to live. Control them all from the Hive app or with your voice.
Alexa, turn the heating on.
So whatever life throws at you.
Oh,
it's cold.
Outsmart it with Hive. Get a free Amazon Echo Dot when you order the Hive Smart Thermostat from hivehome.com. Hive services require broadband and Wi-Fi. Terms apply.
UK employers. The way you hire from the EU is changing from the 1st of January 2021. To hire anyone new from outside the UK, you'll need to register as a licensed sponsor. Getting a license normally takes 8 weeks, and fees apply. New employees from outside the UK will also need to meet language, job and salary requirements. Find out everything you need to know about the UK's points-based immigration system at gov.uk/hiring from the EU.
Kick up your mid-mornings with street-smart breaking sports news, energised engagement and stadium-sized opinion. TalkSport presents Jim White and Simon Jordan, two giant, unstoppable forces from the world of sports media, in radio's best-connected daily football face-off.
I do know what I'm talking about here.
But you weren't slow in coming at me, were you? Jim White and Simon Jordan. Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport with Wix Trade Pro. It's always 10% cheaper with Wix Trade Pro.
TalkSport. On air, online and on TV at Sky Channel 0108.
Next up, of course, it's me, the goal team over there, Jason Cundy. We're taking your Champions League calls on. Oh, well, fantastic night for Liverpool and Diogo Jota as well. Liverpool fans, 08717 223344, a 5-0 win away at Atalanta. We were talking on the show last night with European football experts. We all thought it was going to be a tough game, but Liverpool just blew them away. So Liverpool fans, you can react to that. And also, is Jota now part of your best front three? Is he better than Firmino? 08717 223344. And City, I mean, a bit dull, a bit boring. City used to be a great side to watch, entertaining football. Now it's just pass, yawn. What's happened to Man City as well? 08717 223344. It's me and him, and lots of you.